Hello and welcome. The top stories today. Members of the Association of Resident Doctors at University College Hospital in Ibadan have embarked on an indefinite strike, an official said yesterday, Monday. And on the foreign scene, Japan this Tuesday pledged to slash greenhouse gas emissions by 60% in the next decade from 2013 levels. But climate campaigners said the target fell short of what was needed under the Paris Agreement to limit global warming. And finally, in sport, Barcelona secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Rayo Vallecano at Mojichuk, climbing to the top of La Liga in a match overshadowed by refereeing debate. Welcome to News Hour, this hour on TV Sapienza with me, Chioma Vic-Chukwuemeka. We begin in health, where members of the Association of Resident Doctors at University College Hospital in Ibadan have embarked on an indefinite strike. An official said this yesterday, Monday. The association's General Secretary, Dr. Uthman Adedeji, told newsmen in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, that the strike was due to a power outage in some of the hospital's residential areas. Recall that the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company reconnected UCH on Wednesday after more than 100 days of power outage. The association had earlier issued a communique that members would embark on an indefinite strike if electricity was not restored later than 4 p.m. on Monday yesterday. Adedeji said while electricity had been restored, only some parts of the residential quarters were reconnected. Moving on, a joint operation between the Nigeria Police Force and the National Police Agency of Japan has led to the arrest of 11 suspects involved in identity thefts, romance scams, and computer-related fraud targeting Japanese victims. The crackdown followed a report received on April 3, 2024, detailing 5 cybercrime cases linked to 13 individuals operating from Nigeria. A statement on Monday by NPF spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi confirmed that the NPF National Cybercrime Center, in collaboration with Nigeria's National Central Bureau and NCB Tokyo, launched an extensive investigation that led to the arrest. According to him, the investigation uncovered a network that used social media platforms, particularly Instagram, to lure victims into fraudulent romantic relationships. The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, has said the tenure extension of some top officers in the agency followed due process. Adeniyi affirmed that he would appear today, Tuesday, before the National Assembly to address the extension of service tenure for officers who were expected to retire. Reports are filtered through that several senior officials of the customs who had reached the end of their service tenure were granted extensions after an alleged lobbying process. The extension, which will last a year, disrupted the rank and file of the customs as it would impede career progression. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions, after it considered a petition by the Obasifasen Help Foundation on the controversial tenure extension last week, invited the Customs Comptroller General to appear before it on Tuesday, February 18, 2025. The President Bola Tinubu has called for more liberal visa policies to support Nigerian businesses seeking to expand globally. His call came barely days after the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, was denied a visa by the Canadian government to travel for the Invictus Games for wounded soldiers in action in Vancouver. The president, who made the call on the sidelines of the 38th ordinary session of the Assembly of African Union Heads of State and Government in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia at weekend, noted that Nigeria had continued to create favorable environment for foreign companies to operate within its borders. Represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Tinubu said it was only unfair for other nations to reciprocate by easing visa requirements for Nigerian businesses looking to establish themselves abroad. The minister, in a statement by media aide Rabiu Ibrahim yesterday, shared his experience from Indonesia, where he observed that while more than 50 Indonesian companies operate in Nigeria, fewer than 5 Nigerian companies were present in Indonesia. He stressed that such reciprocal arrangements needed to include simplified visa processes for Nigerian companies and their representatives. To raise awareness and encourage the adoption of restorative justice as an alternative to traditional punitive approaches in criminal justice system, the Prison Fellowship Nigeria, with the support of the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption RULAC, has organized a one-day sensitization workshop on restorative justice. Speaking at the event, the Executive Director of Prison Fellowship Nigeria, Dr. Jacob Sadu, said the program being implemented in 8 states of the Federation, including Anambra, is an exclusive approach that emphasizes repairing damages caused by criminal behaviors and restoring social harmony and peace, which are the fundamental goals of justice. Anambra State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Sylvia Ifemeje, represented at the event by the Director of Public Prosecution in the Ministry, Barrister Umeozulu, described the workshop as an important step in a collective effort to reimagine justice, not merely as punitive, but also vehicle for healing, reconciliation, and societal transformation. While the State Chief Justice, Justice Onochie Anya Chebelo, represented by the Administrative Judge of Ihiala Judicial Division, Justice Samuel said, though it has not been the tradition of the judiciary to emphasize restorative justice, attention is now being shifted from punishment to reconciliation and healing of the society. We will take a break right now. When we return, in a release signed by the press secretary to the governor of Anambra State, Christian Abrime, the attention of the Anambra State government has been drawn to a malicious and entirely false narrative being circulated on the internet. These and other stories will come your way after this timeout. Please stay with us. Glad to have you join us right back here on TV Sapiencia News. In a release signed by the press secretary to the governor of Anambra State, Christian Abrime, the attention of the Anambra State government has been drawn to a malicious and entirely false information circulating on social media platforms, claiming that Anambra State government begins arrest of girls who walk around without bras and pants before they start walking naked. The government wished to categorically state that this information is not only false but also mischievous and calculated to mislead the public and paint the state government in a bad light. The Anambra State government, under the leadership of Professor Chukwuma Soludo, remains committed to protecting the fundamental human right and dignity of all citizens. Although the government encourages decent dressing for all, it does not interfere with citizens' personal choices of clothing or undergarment, as such matters are private and protected by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The statement urges the public to disregard this fake news and always verify information from official government channels before sharing. The peddlers of this false information are advised to desist from such acts of misinformation that could create unnecessary panic and tension in the society. The Anambra State government will continue to focus on serious issues of security of lives and property, human capital development, economic transformation of the state, and urban regeneration agenda, among others. Billionaire Aliko Dangote has described his $23 billion Dangote refinery project as the biggest risk of his life, acknowledging the challenges he faced in bringing the venture to fruition. In an exclusive interview with Forbes yesterday, Monday, Dangote opened up about the risk involved in such a massive undertaking, despite the refinery's groundbreaking capacity of 650,000 barrels per day and its status as Africa's largest. Dangote revealed that the journey to completion was fraught with uncertainties. Dangote also spoke about the hurdles he faced in financing the project, the regulatory challenges, and securing suppliers. Dangote said he is committed to providing a blueprint for industrialization across Africa. We move right now to Akwa Ibom State, where the state governor Umo Eno has warned appointees against indiscriminate issuance of press statements without clearance. The governor directed that henceforth all appointees must obtain clearance from the secretary to the state government before issuing any information to the press. Speaking at the Sunday service held at the Uyo Archdiocesan headquarters of the Methodist Church Nigeria, Itiam Etoy, Uyo, Eno stressed that his only Chief Press Secretary and the Commissioner for Information were authorized to issue statements and not charged citizens, especially government officials, to work towards maintaining the prevailing peace and unity in the state by discharging their responsibilities devoid of chaos and actions that could be inimical to the peace and harmony of the state. Away from Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria, we move to Japan, where today, Tuesday, they pledged to slash greenhouse gas emissions by 60% in the next decade from 2013 levels. But climate campaigners said the target fell short of what was needed under the Paris Agreement to limit global warming. Under the Paris Accord, each country is supposed to provide a headline figure to the United Nations for cutting heat-trapping emissions by 2035 and a detailed blueprint for how to achieve this. Japan is heavily dependent on imported fossil fuels as the world's fifth largest single country emitter of carbon dioxide after China, the United States, India and Russia. On Tuesday, that's today, Tokyo's Environment Ministry said the country will slash emissions 60% by the 2035 fiscal year. The world's fourth largest economy also aims to cut emissions by 73% by fiscal 2040 as part of its national determined contribution. A voluntary pledge to be submitted to the UN later today, Tuesday. Nearly 200 nations have been required to deliver their fresh climate plans by January 10, but just 10 did so on time, according to a UN database tracking the submissions. Now to the world of sports. Barcelona secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Rayo Vallecano at Montjuic, climbing to the top of La Liga in a match overshadowed by refereeing debate. Robert Lewandowski's first-half penalty awarded after a VAR review for a foul by Party C's on Inigo Martinez proved decisive as Rayo's 9-match unbeaten streak came to an end. Despite going behind, Rayo responded strongly, forcing Wojciech into a crucial save before halftime. Barcelona struggled to kill the game off with missed chances from Lewandowski and Rafinha, keeping the visitors in contention. In the dying moment, Adrian Mbamba set up Jorge de Frutos for a golden opportunity, but the former Real Madrid man failed to convert. Hansi Flick's side will be relieved to have secured 3 points despite their profligacy, while Rayo, though disappointed, remain in 6th place. Barcelona now sits a level with Real Madrid on 51 points, just ahead of Atletico Madrid on the La Liga table. Well, that's it on the news this hour. A quick reminder of our top stories. Members of the Association of Resident Doctors at University College Hospital in Ibadan have embarked on an indefinite strike. An official said this yesterday, Monday. Japan this Tuesday pledged to slash greenhouse gas emissions by 60% in the next decade from 2013 levels, but climate campaigners said the target fell short of what was needed under the Paris Agreement to limit global warming. Finally, in sports, Barcelona secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Rayo Vallecano at Montjuic, climbing to the top of La Liga in a match overshadowed by refereeing debate. Well, that's it on World News on TV Sapiencia. That's News Hour. On behalf of the entire editorial and production crew, my name is Chioma Vic-Chukwuemeka. Stay with us here as we entertain you, educate you, and inform you. Do have a great Tuesday ahead of you. Bye-bye.